Hello everyone, welcome to another Barb Stamps video. This video is for my Totally Techniques online club, and the card that we're going to make today is for everybody who ordered in the club during the month of April. So if you ordered with me during the month of April and used my host code and let me know that you wanted to be in the club, you will be receiving one of these cards in the mail. So my Totally Techniques online club is really simple. If you place a $30 or more order with me at shoppingwithbarb.com, and use my host code and let me know that you want to be in the club, then you are in the club and I will send you the cards that I make every month, plus a link to this video so you can keep everything in one place. If you order with me for 6 months in a row, you're $30 or more, then I will gift you with a $30 gift certificate. Pretty simple. So let's get the supplies for the card and we will get started. All right, here's the supplies, but I wanted to quickly let you know that my May online classes are, one is using the hand-penned bundle of products, and you can get the whole shebang for $103, which gives you the hand-penned suite, Highland Heather and Mint Macaron ribbons. The class and cardstock kit are free with this option, or you can just get the kit, which is the half a roll of the 2 ribbons and the genial gems, or you can get the online class only for $20. This will be available for shipping and emailing on May 28th. I also have my Create Where You Are class to go. If you are a demonstrator, you will know that I was part of the on-tour presentations, and I did an amazing presentation using this bundle of products. I created some super awesome cards, and I'm going to do a class on them. They're not going to be the cards that you've already seen. They're totally different cards. My kit is $45. It includes products to make 8 cards, 2 each of 4 designs with envelopes. You get a half a pack of the Sweet Symmetry DSP, half a roll of Fleur de Flamingo, gold metallic ribbon, half roll of the Just Jade ribbon, the silver and clear epoxy essentials, and the pre-cut cardstock kit will be available May 20th. You can add on the bundle for $46.75, and you can also add on 2 sets of blends for $21. The links to all this stuff is in the description of this video. All right, so in today's video, we are going to be doing the corner flip card as our technique of the month. And we're going to be using the Sweet as a Peach, I guess it's a bundle. It's a pretty inexpensive bundle. It's only $36.75, and you get the stamp set and the set of dies. That's a pretty inexpensive die bundle for us. You can also get the designer series paper, the You're a Peach, with all these really fun peachy patterns, and then these coordinating cardstocks, of course, go along with that. So that's what we're going to base our card on today. So you will need a few supplies. I've got some things already pre-cut here. I've got a Pale Papaya card base. This is one of our brand new in colors. Love it. I also have a 4 by 5¼ inch piece of white for the inside of the card. I've got 2 pieces of Calypso Coral. They both measure 2 3/4 square. And then these 2 layers of white both measure 2 1/2 square. And then the last thing I have is a 3/4 by 4 inch strip of this pattern of the designer series paper. So let's start out by first doing our cutting and scoring on this layer here. All right, we're going to bring in the old Stampin' Trimmer, and we're going to start out with our long side, our 8 1/2 side at the top, and this edge is against the 3-inch mark. So then you're going to get your blade, bring your blade up here, and we're going to start our cut at the 4 7/8 inch mark. So you've got the 5 here. The tiny little line above the 5 would be 4 15/16. The next line that's a little bit larger is 4 7/8. So we are going to position our blade. Our blades have this little notch right here. We're going to position that at about the 4 7/8 inch mark. All right. Then we're going to push the blade into the cardstock, and we're going to push it up until we get to 2 1/2, and that is where we're going to stop. Okay. So we've got this cut line here. So now we're going to rotate this to the left, and now we're going to have the short side at the top, and the long edge is against the 3-inch mark. This time we're going to start our blade up here at the top at 5/8 of an inch. So here we have a half, and then we would have 9/16, and then we would have our 5/8. There we go. And then we're going to just cut down to our cut line here with 3-inch mark. And now we have what looks like a little cut corner out of there. All right, so now we can fold our card in half to create the standard card size of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And we'll go ahead and burnish that. So then what we're going to do is we're going to flip this corner out. Now I like to do it very gently. As you can see, I'm starting to flip it. I'm going to bring my bone folder in here so that as I'm flipping it, I can sort of guide it with my bone folder gently. And I want to have it so it's square here on the inside as well as square on the outside. So as you're looking at it, and if it's not square, then you just kind of pull and tug at this piece until it is. And once you feel like it's square, then you want to hold it into place and you want to flatten out those fold lines. Okay, so you get some nice fold lines there. All right, so we're going to fold that back because we're going to do a little bit of stamping on here. So we've got one of the images from the stamp set. We've got this cute little trio of flowers here, and we're going to bring in our pale papaya ink. Whoops, we've got a little stray flower there. All right, I need a scratch paper. I have really been liking using our Stamparatus grid papers. So I'm going to ink this up, and I'm just going to kind of start doing some random stamping here. And it doesn't matter if you get the ink on this layer, this part here, because we're going to end up covering that up. So stamp that there, and I'm going to kind of rotate the stamp around as I do that. We're going to end up stamping our sentiment in this little area here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. We are going to use the thanks so much sentiment, so I've got that right here. I'm going to ink that up in the Calypso Coral, and I'm going to stamp it, I don't know, about an inch, 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. Wherever you end up wanting to put it is totally fine. Okay, then we're going to continue with our flowers here. So now we're just going to kind of go around our sentiment piece. And then maybe a few underneath like that. And I think that looks pretty good. All right, so then we can flip our corner back and we can actually glue it into place. So I like to use liquid glue for this because I like to add my liquid glue right here and right here near these little scored areas. And then right along the edges here. Okay. Now, if you are not going to put anything on the inside of your card, that's another reason why you only want to put your adhesive on the outer edges here. Because if you go to the inside, you can see I have some flower stamp there, but I'm going to cover mine up. If you're not going to, then you might want to you might want to be a little less liberal with your flowers there. Okay, so then our next step is to do some stamping on these 2.5 inch squares. So I'm going to bring in my Pear Pizzazz, ink up this large leaf image here. I'm going to kind of put it at a little bit of a diagonal on my piece. There we go. And then on the inside here, we are going to stamp this little leaf piece here. Now, I don't want this little, I don't know what that even is, but I don't want that little line. So when I ink this up, I'm going to be careful that I only get the leaf and the little stem. You can see I did not get any ink on that piece. And so I'm going to add this kind of about right here. Okay. Then I've got my large peach image, and I'm going to ink that up in the pale papaya. But I want to add some depth to it. So I'm going to ink up a sponge dauber in my Calypso Coral, tap off a little bit because I don't want it to be too much. I'm just going to kind of dab that around just to give it a little bit of character. And I'm going to huff on it, which basically means breathe on it with your moist breath. Whoops, we're going to need to redo that leaf. Hold on. Again, I don't want that little thing at the bottom. Up just a little bit so it's a little higher. There we go. Huff on our peach, and then we're just going to stamp that about like so. All right, how cool is that? We've got some cooking going on upstairs, so there's some serious noise action up there. All right, so then on this little guy here, we need another scrap of white. There we go. This is a scrap, and we're going to ink up our little peaches again in the pale papaya. And then, whoops, get your sponge dauber again, and then just kind of gently tap around these little guys, just giving them a little bit of dimension. You're going to huff on it. Stamp it. There we go. Then we're going to take it over to the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we're going to cut it out with these trio of peaches here. Okay, so let me go do that. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. We have our 3 little pieces here. So now we're going to pop those up with some mini Stampin' Dimensionals. Get some minis here. Flip those over, and we're going to add a mini to the back of each of these things. Okay, so then you can just attach these wherever you want. And doesn't that look really cool with the added dimension that we've given these things? There we go. All right, and let's see, we're not quite done with the ink yet. So let's bring in our inside layer, and we are going to first start out with our little sentiment here that says sweet as a peach. And I'm going to ink that up in Calypso Coral. I'm going to stamp it not quite in the center. Okay. And then I have the sentiment that says your as. And I'm going to, oh, you can't see, I've got my Pale Papaya ink here, and I'm going to stamp this just above. There we go. Then I'm going to clean off my peach trio here. I've got a brand new chamois. I'm super excited. Doesn't take long for it to get all inked up, but I love it when it's fresh. Okay, so let me slap that against my hand a little bit to get some of that water off. And then if you can do this without using a Post-it note, fine. If you need some Post-it notes, go ahead and cover that up. But I think I can do this without. I just want one of these peaches. So I am just going to get one of those peaches. And again, I am going to come in with my Calypso Coral just to add some dimension. I'm going to huff on that a little bit. And then I am going to stamp my little peach about right there. And then on my leaf, I need some leaves for my peach. So I am going to clean that off. My brand new chamois. Smack it against my hand to clean it off. And then I want these 2 little leaves right here. And just to make it easier for me, I'm going to mask off this single. Okay. And then I'm just going to come over here and tap that into my Pear Pizzazz ink, remove my Post-it note. I'm going to stamp that off just a tiny bit so it's not as dark. And then we'll just stamp that right there. Isn't that adorable? Okay. Now we've got our Designer Series paper strip that we need to add to the bottom here. Isn't that just a fun inside for your card? I'm loving that. There we go. And those of you that know me, at the filming of this video, tomorrow, I will be getting my cataract surgery. So hopefully I will no longer be legally blind in my left eye. So I am very much looking forward to that. Okay. Kind of a silly little story here. One of my downline members, one of my team members, told me that I stamp better with one eye than she does with 2. So I always found that to be a funny little thing, and she's so sweet. So thanks, Vicki. All right, so let's go ahead and get this inside in. There we go. And now we're going to cover this up. So we've got one of our layers of Calypso Coral. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue there. And I'm going to line this up so that it hits both edges of the Pale Papaya. Okay, because I don't want it to show on the front. And then I'm going to add this one to the front. But this one I'm going to center in this little area. So I'm not putting it right against those edges. I'm centering it in here. There we go. Then we're going to bring our little stamped pieces. This one I am going to add to the front. Center that. There we go. And then this little guy I am going to put in the inside, but I did want to stamp something else on here. I almost forgot. There's this little trio of flowers that's super cute. And I'm going to ink that up in some coral. And I'm just going to kind of stamp that right up there in the corner. Just to kind of take some of that white space. And I've got one more little thing that I want to do here after I get this on. All right, so on the front, I want to add, the die set has these little tiny flower trios. I think there's 4 of them in the set total, and you can cut these adorable little tiny flowers. So I have some here. I've got some balmy blue ones, and then I've got some calypso coral ones. And I'm going to use the calypso coral. So I'm going to go ahead and just take my liquid glue, and I'm just going to put a tiny little drop, a couple of drops there, and a little drop right there. And I'm going to bring in take your pick tool, and I'm going to pull out some of these coral flowers. And we'll get those added to the card. Now, I don't want these little bits in the centers. I do want those to be gone, so we're going to get rid of those. There we go. And then we're going to add our little, oops, that glue blob might be a little too much. So I'm just going to tap my finger in that. Get some of that excess glue off. All right, and then our last little guy, we will come over here with that. Aren't those just adorable? Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Okay, so that is our technique card. Now, if you're in the club, you will get this card, this greeting card. You will also get the instruction card with a sample of the technique on the back. So I have just glued a card base to the back side of that. And so here, I guess I can bring in all of them now. I've got a whole bunch done already. I've got a few more to make, but I've got a bunch here and then this. And so that is the conclusion of the video. So please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to my channel down here in the corner, and absolutely make sure you check out everything that I have in the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it very much. Until next time, have a great day.